Our goal is to teach you how to use electricity safely and find out why it's so dangerous but so good at the same time. So enjoy that, share it with mom and dad, because there's some safety tips in there that maybe mom and dad have even forgot about, where you can remind them, don't do that, mom, don't do that, dad. Why is electricity so dangerous? Number one is the speed that it travels, the speed of something, the speed of, what do you think? Light, exactly right, the speed of light.
There is a high voltage. Let's do it one more time, John. Wow, that's pretty dangerous stuff. What you just seen there is burning air. John, how hot is that electrical arc?
We're pulling some good arcs today because there's a lot of moisture in the air, about 70% humidity. And we can all feel it. We're all kind of sweating a little bit. The more humidity that's in the air, the bigger that arc's going to be. That arc that we just saw is over 7,000 degrees. 7,000. You know that little island of Hawaii, the volcano that's erupting there and the lava is flowing into the ocean? You know how hot that molten lava is? 3,200 degrees. 3,200. This is double that, 7,000. It's burning the air around it, just like any fire, just like any fire. And you've got firemen here today too. They know how hot those house fires can be, but they don't come anywhere near to melting lava or 7,000 degrees. So it does show you the power, the speed, and like Terry said, the poor guy that was hanging on to that ladder that accidentally, and there's that word, accidentally, nobody does this on purpose because you're going to end up badly. Nobody fools around with electricity on purpose. The person holding that ladder that made the mistake and touched that high voltage, he went down to the ground and probably to the hospital. The people around him saw that arc, but he never saw it. Well, how can that bird sit on the power line all day long without being electrocuted? It's not touching the ground. That's exactly right. But that bird doesn't look big enough to me to touch that wire and touch the ground at the same time. But if he touches two wires, Kentucky Fried Chicken, it touches two of them, and that 7,200 volts just burned that string up. And guess who's hanging on to the other end of that string? Who's ever flying that kite? So if that kite starts getting close to power lines, what's the first thing you should do?
Let go.
Exactly right. Don't try to maneuver it or roll it up. Let it go. Let it float down to the ground. Then go get it. Be safe. Our lives depend on our safety equipment. Even though we're just doing a demonstration for you guys, that's the real deal up on that top line, 7,200 volts. That's why Terry does his field test every time before we start work on that line. These things have to be in perfect condition. Toaster uses low voltage, 120 volt. Keep an eye on this plate here in that wire. Now I'm going to set up a scenario for you guys. In the morning, you grab some bread, put it in the toaster, push the button down. Normal morning, about 30 seconds, that baby will pop up ready to eat. But it doesn't pop up this morning. So instead of unplugging it, you grab a knife or a fork, stick it in there to free that bread up. Not very smart, number one, and this is what it could look like. This is the same voltage.
Pretty big sparks, right? Wow.
You think that's enough to electrocute you? More than enough. It only takes a tiny bit of electricity, about 1/5 of an amp, to stop the strongest muscle in your body. So he's up there with this aluminum antenna trying to get a good position so he gets a good picture on his new TV. So he's moving the antenna around and he accidentally comes in contact with that high voltage power line. And this actually happened in Coon Rapids. Watch that hot dog. You think he survived that? No way, not with his heart blowing up and burning up. Speed of light, he didn't have a chance. That is why we say look up and live. Be aware of where those power lines are, even when you're doing something as simple as flying a kite.
Today we're here to talk about water safety. I'm Walt with the fire department. I'm a captain there. Some of the guys inside, you'll see they'll be doing some fire safety stuff. Today I'm out with our boat. Our boat goes on rivers, lakes, wherever we have water we can take it, except to your bathtub. Today we're going to talk about personal flotation devices, which commonly referred to as PFDs. We're going to talk about how to rescue your friends. Okay? Say I'm drowning. I got my hands up, I'm screaming, I'm trying to get air. What are you going to do? Are you going to come and grab me?
If I grab you, oh no, you're pulling me down.
He's going to drown.
Now we drown together.
Okay? So we don't ever want to just go out there and grab our friend. When we talk about saving your friends, we talk about encouragement, yell. Okay, you guys probably heard me yell earlier. Come on, you can do it, get to me. Okay, we'll throw something. The little life rings, or for the fire department, it's going to be rope and a bag. For you guys, it might be a seat cushion, or if you're out on your boat, it might be another life jacket. Okay? Reaching, you're going to either reach with a pole or an oar or something long where you can pull that person back. The last thing you want to do as an adult is go out for somebody. So, as a boater, you kids are 3rd, 4th grade? Yeah. Should you always have your PFD on, personal flotation device? All the time in the boat?
Yeah.
And why is that? Peyton? Correct. If you fall out of the boat, you don't know how to swim, you can die. When we're looking for these, and should you have one in the pool? If you don't know how to swim, I would put one on. Okay? But see, this could slide off of her. Okay? She's holding it down right now. It could actually slide off if she's flailing or having an issue. Okay? So we do want this little snugger one. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Evelyn Hansen from the Red Group. Give her a round of applause. This is a rope bag. If you're in the river, the lake, or wherever, and you're flailing and drowning, we'll throw this out to you. Okay? And then you grab it, and we pull you in like a big fish. How many of y'all go fishing? Okay. You ever pull in that big fish and it fights you? And...
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's kind of what you're doing as you're pulling in a rope bag. Okay? We do not go in the water if we don't have to. Harper's drowning. She wanted to swim out to the island and she didn't make it because well, it was longer than she thought. I'm going to yell at her. As Faber, trash man, takes care of everything. I'm going to yell at her. Come on, Harper, you can do it. Okay? And I'm going to encourage her. If she's not making it, as a firefighter, I'm going to grab a rope bag. First off, I'm dialing 911, right?
Yeah, finally.
Yes, I'm dialing 911.
No.
Yes, I'm dialing 911.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. All right. So I'm going to take this rope bag, and I'm going to throw it out to her. And she's going to grab onto it. Just grab the rope. You don't have to swim back. And I'm just going to pull her in. Kick, come on, kick, 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 kick. All right? I'm going to save her that way. Again, I did not put myself in harm's way, did I? I'm still on ground. I'm still safe. Now Harper's safe.
All right, so how do you think someone or your friend felt after getting a traumatic brain injury?
Dizzy.
Dizzy, yep.
Not able to walk.
Yep, your balance, depending on what part of your brain you hit.
Not able to think for a while.
You're right, you're kind of foggy, a little, we call it disoriented. Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say on the breath. You can't understand things now.
Nope. 3, 4, 5 becomes 6, 8, 9. You know, you're not even something as simple as your numbers. Can't remembering how to tie your shoes sometimes. Yep, it can make you sick. If you get a headache and you're really, really dizzy, it can make you want to throw up. It's not fun at all. So that's why we want to prevent those. We want to prevent you guys from hitting your head. We want you to wear helmets. I like it. Speaking about helmets, I want to introduce you to our friend. We call him Fred the Head. He's pretty quiet, doesn't really say much, doesn't have much of a mouth. But what's important about Fred the Head is what's underneath the helmet that we want to protect. So, we're going to talk about our brain. Yeah, this is a little model brain. So do you think the brain's pretty simple? Nothing really exciting about it? Or do you think it's pretty complex? Exactly. There's lots of different parts. It is. So yeah, if you fall backwards, like on the ice or sledding, and you hit the back of your head, chances are you're probably going to not be able to walk real straight. If you hit the front, if you go reach down to tie your shoes and hit smack right in the head, you might not be able to tell a joke. This is your personality, is right in here. Makes you funny. And you hit on the side. One of the cool thing about the side, if you hit like the side of your head, everybody raise your right hand. Reach across, touch the left side of your head. That's what controls your right hand. Yep, and vice versa. If you raise your left hand, touch the right side of your brain, that controls the left side of your body. Also, raise your hand again, give it a knock. Soft? Hard? What do you think? Hard. What is that? What is that hard thing that protects that squishy brain? Your skull. Good. The scalp? It's a scalp and then the skull. Yeah, we have layers. We have layers to protect our brains. So, another thing that protects it, if you're anything on wheels, scooters, snowmobiles, motorcycles, bikes, helmets. Helmets right here. This specific helmet is pretty cool because it saved my friend. There are 4 cracks. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cracks in this helmet because it saved my friend Julie over there in the green shirt while she was biking. Hit a rock, went on tumbling. She's now able to play Jenga now because she had on this pretty cool helmet.
This is a brain. I'm gonna let you guys just kind of touch it with your flat hand after. And actually a brain kind of does feel like this. It actually feels like a really firm jello. And so our brain, the front is like she was talking about your emotions, how you think, how you feel. Are you having a good day? Are you happy to be at camp?
Yeah.
Isn't it nice that it's not raining today? And the back of your brain has to do with what we call balance. Can we stand here like this?
Yes, I do.
So that's making the back of your brain work. And so as she was talking about our brain is really important. When you hurt your brain, sometimes you're not able to function as you normally would. And so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get an idea of what if we had a brain injury and our hands didn't quite work right. It might feel like you were using oven mitts all the time and you wouldn't have that fine, what we call dexterity, where you can feel things. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick a puzzle, you're gonna dump it out, and you're gonna try to put it together with just your oven mitts on. Okay, and it gives you a feeling of what does it feel like if your brain didn't work.
If he says that if he thinks he's going to the tree and you're his brother or sister and you think that you're supposed to go to the end of the driveway and then you go to 2 different spots, well then you're wondering if each other are still in the house. So everybody's got to have that one meeting spot so you all know where you're going. Does that make sense? Awesome. Okay. Another thing inside homes, do you guys have any pets? Yeah? Okay, so if we're gonna get out because there's a fire or we start to have smoke and stuff, are we gonna grab that pet and get out of the house?
Yeah.
No, we're not. We're gonna let that pet go because our pets are replaceable and ourselves are not. So we're gonna leave that pet and we're gonna go and we're gonna make sure that we get out safely, okay? And us as firefighters, and you're gonna learn in a second what type of gear that we wear, we can wear that gear and we can go and try to find your pet wherever it is inside the house. But it's more important that you guys get out. You guys get out and go find your meeting spot. You guys have smoke detectors in your house, right? Yeah. Okay, do you have like just one in your house?
I have one in every room.
Right, and you should. If you only have one, you should look at getting more of them, because you should have probably one in every living space and sometimes in the hallway, one in the kitchen. You can always have them. And it just alerts you a little bit earlier, because if you only had one in your living room, let's say, and the fire started in the kitchen, now we're waiting for that smoke and that heat to get all the way over to the living room before it alerts you. When if you had one that was a lot closer, you could be alerted right away. So we want to have those smoke detectors working and in the rooms of our bedroom and in the house, and so we can be alerted early enough. Very quickly, before we move on to the exit drill stuff again, if this was a kitchen, okay, and this was my oven and I'm cooking and I got pots and pans and burners and stuff, I generally try to tell kids or try to tell my family that I kind of want like a perimeter or a little space so I can work here, because there's hot boiling water, hot food cooking that little kids should probably generally just try to stay away from. So when you have a handle, like a pot or a pan with a handle on it, we don't have that handle pointing out where somebody could hit it and it could spill everywhere. We turn those handles to the inside or backwards so none of them are being harmed. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pretend that this is our bedroom, and usually if this is our bedroom, we could exit out of a window, right? Like our old trailer that we used to have, that's what we did. We would go and we would feel the door, and the door would be too hot, because that's one thing that we do. We get low because the smoke and the heat goes up. So we stay low to the ground and we crawl and we feel the door. If the door is too hot and we can get out a window, then we can crawl out that window and we can get to safety. If the door is too hot and we can't get out the window, we're gonna do what's called shelter in place, or we're just gonna stay away, because if that door feels hot, that probably means that there's fire on the other side of that door. So we check it, and then we go, and if it's too hot and we can't get out our window because we're too short to climb out, we're just gonna, what's called shelter in place, and hide, and we're just gonna stay away from the smoke and fire until a firefighter can come with the right gear that you're about to see, and they can come and rescue you or help you out. In this drill, we're not gonna be able to get the window, we're gonna have to go out. So if it gets smoky in here, we're gonna look around, oh, it's getting smoky, I can't get out my window, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get low, because the smoke and the heat's going up, and I'm gonna crawl over to my door, and I'm gonna stay low, and I'm gonna feel the door. Does the door feel hot? Nope, I think the door is okay, so I'm able to go. And we're gonna go out, and we can go out right to our meeting spot out there, okay? Pretend you're sleeping, close your eyes. Close your eyes, we're sleeping in our beds at home. And then we start to feel something, smoke, feel some heat. All right, so, all right, wake up. Now what do? We gotta stay low, and we gotta crawl. You gotta check the door, feel the door. Is it cold or hot?
Cold.
Cold, all right. If you check the door, then you can stay low, stay low. You gotta stay low, otherwise you're gonna get hurt. Check the door before you go. Feel the door, make sure it's cold.
So I'm going to show you some of the stuff I wear here real quick. And so as a firefighter, if you guys do happen to call us and we have to come to a fire, you can kind of see how we can protect ourselves a little bit. So first thing I've got is obviously some boots. They're rubber, so I can be inside of wet, and they're steel-toed, so if things fall, I don't crush my toes. I have a pair of pants on with suspenders and my jacket. And so what this material here is, this is not fireproof. Sometimes you see in Hollywood where they walk through fire inside a building and they're walking through that. Our gear is not fireproof. It keeps us away from heat. So this actually absorbs heat is what it does. So we can go inside a hot building and be in there for 10 or 15 minutes, and this gear keeps us cool on the inside. And how that works is this outside absorbs the heat energy, and then we have a thermal layer, kind of like a winter jacket maybe you wear. That keeps our body cool on the inside for a little while. So, and then I have, who can tell me what this is?
Air tank.
Go ahead. Yep. It's actually air. Oxygen wouldn't be good inside a fire because that feeds fire, burns, yes. So this is air, but it's the same thing. So there's air inside there that I can put in with my mask. So I have my mask I can put on. This stuff weighs probably, everything weighs probably about 55 pounds when I get everything on. So it's kind of heavy, it's kind of hard work, so. All right, I'm gonna have you check, see. So I shouldn't have any skin showing once I'm ready to go in. You see anything? Okay, all right. That's why I wear that hood. So now, I got my air tank on so I can breathe through air here.
Today, we're going to talk a little bit about safety in the outdoors. Like if you are at a park or on a camping trip or hiking. How many of you guys like to do that kind of stuff? Spend time outside? We're talking about safety in the outdoors. And at Springbrook Nature Center, we kind of work in a forest, right? So,
There's like a big forest trail.
Yep. And so what I did was I did something a little bit crazy. I went out and I collected and put into that bag right there a collection of the most dangerous things in the forest. Dun dun dun. Did you know that where we live, there are zero, none, zilch, nada, venomous snakes. There is not a single snake here that can hurt you. There are rattlesnakes in one little part of Minnesota, but it's far away from here. So right around this area, there are no snakes that can hurt you. So snakes are not one of the most dangerous things in the forest. Any other ideas? There are coyotes that live here. I've seen them at Springbrook Nature Center. They probably are living in or traveling through your neighborhood. They do not eat or attack people. They are not one of the most dangerous things in the forest. Are you ready to see the actual most dangerous things in the forest? Are you ready? Prepare yourselves, my friends. So ticks are, they're not exactly insects, but basically they're bugs. We'll just say, for the sake of making it easy, we'll just say they're bugs. And they live on tall grasses. And when you walk through a forest or an area with tall grasses, ticks can go from those plants onto your legs or your arms. And what they eat is actually blood. So they will stick their head down under your skin and kind of drink your blood for a while. And they don't really hurt. Like, I've had ticks on me and you don't even feel it when they put their head in you. But the thing that makes them dangerous is that they can give you some diseases. And there's one in particular, it's called Lyme's disease.
What's that?
And it's a bacteria, and it can make you very, very sick for a long time. So if you go camping, or you go to like a nature camp or something like that, every night when you come home, have a trusted grown-up check your body for ticks. Pull them out, and you shouldn't have anything to worry about. So you shouldn't be scared to go outside, because ticks are part of outside. But knowing about them and knowing to take them off and knowing to look for them helps to keep you safe. Got it? Oh no! What is it? I can't even look. Oh!
Poison ivy.
It is! Oh! Oh, it's just a piece of paper. Thank you.
Poison ivy.
So poison ivy is a plant that grows around this area, grows throughout Minnesota. Usually it's about this tall, about tall as your knee, and it has leaves that grow in bunches of 3. So you can remember this. Leaves of 3.
Let it be.
Let it be. Leaves of 3.
Let it be.
I still remember as a kid getting lost in the grocery store and like crying. I mean, I was pretty little. I was like 5. But that feeling of being lost is really pretty scary, isn't it? Like not knowing where you are, especially if you were with some friends and you got separated. So for getting lost, all right? If you ever are feeling lost, you get separated from your friends or family, does anybody know the best thing to do? Anybody want to guess? Yes.
Stay where you are.
Stay put, and people are going to look for you and find you. We talked about ticks, but do any of you, either yourselves or maybe you know somebody who is allergic to bee or wasp stings? Okay? So here we have 3 people that have a friend or a parent who has that. And so one thing that's important to know is you can help save someone's life by knowing a few simple things. Usually people who have really bad allergies to insect stings carry special medicine with them. And they'll carry something called an EpiPen. Okay, what are you allergic to? Okay, I have a nephew that has a peanut allergy and he always carries an EpiPen with him too. So it's not just bee stings. So an EpiPen, it's like a plastic, it's like a shot, right? Yeah. Yeah. So one thing you guys can do is if you know people, if you have friends or family that are allergic to insect stings, peanut butter, peanuts, whatever the food allergy is, ask them about their EpiPen. Where do they keep it? How do you use it? Because you could have to save that person's life.
This has been a production of Fridley Municipal Television, Channel 17. Thanks for watching.